Welcome to the Block Sitdown. This is the One Foot In podcast where we take 1 foot into the college realm, to the college world, college football world. And we got the pregame show today of week 9. We have a couple games we want to highlight, take a deep dive into, and we all gonna be discussing that. Then we have a little 2 minute, one eye on what's it called, segment where I take a look at like a lot of games you need to keep an eye on, trap games that could be competitive or good for them their time slots. And yeah, with that being said, how are y'all feeling today?
I've been running errands all day, bro. So I got back home, 3, 4. I had to wake up at basically 10. I'm not gonna lie, I hit that snooze button so many times before I actually get out of bed at like 10:45. Then I had to head over to my mom's crib and I had to go take her to the dentist, and I've been there for like a couple hours, and then I haven't seen Mama Dukes in a minute, so I ran the errands with her a little bit, and then and then I'm back here, and I had to go build a couch, so. Yeah, still in that moving process. Obviously, my wall still not decorated. Everything is in place ish. My sign need to be put up, and that will eventually happen. But just a lot of errands though. That's why a little late. Yeah. How are you, VJ?
Who's the special guest in the room with us today?
This is Miel.
How many we got?
This is Miel right here. Miel. Yeah, Miel.
Okay.
Look at her just chilling. We got. I don't know if you can see her. We got 2 right here. The one right here is Cafe. This one over here is Princess. This is the mother of them 2. Yeah. The boys is upstairs with their mother, and the girls down here with me. Crazy enough.
Right. VJ, how was your day?
Woke up. I thought I had a emergency going on. My phone was blowing up. It was just someone need to get in the house. I was like, well, nice.
Somebody forgot the keys.
Why didn't they just break in?
Oh, all right.
Crazy.
VJ, who's the special guest we got in the room with us today?
Me, myself, and I.
W.
Are they usually in the room with you?
No.
Damn.
Thought you shared a room or something. All right, let's get into college football. First matchup we got is. Hang on.
Come on, man.
Are you sharing your screen? Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah.
Um.
A little technical difficulty. One second.
Show 9. Here we go. All right, we got the Ole Miss versus Oklahoma matchup. Number 8, Ole Miss, coming off a loss last week. They were one of the victims of Georgia. Georgia, they took a loss there, and Oklahoma lost in a Red River shootout. Was able to come back and win last week against South Carolina. Lenore Sellers basically by himself. And in that game, I think it was more telling for Oklahoma. You got Oklahoma, John Mateer. He really wasn't. I don't think 100% still. I think he could have been if they needed him to be, but they didn't need to. They need to have him overwork, or they were just trying to get that hand back together. It feel like the run game is still not there for Oklahoma. That defense was still dominant. Basically beat up on Norris. Casual day for South Carolina at this point. But for Ole Miss, they were kind of in like a shootout with Georgia, and they basically went extinct in that fourth quarter and lost off of that. Trinidad had a pretty good game in my opinion. He showed up. But who didn't show up was Keywan Lacey. I was expecting more from him in a run game for Ole Miss, but that offense was still able to get going, and unfortunately still ended in a loss for them. But going into this week, it's kind of a high-powered offense in Ole Miss versus a high-powered defense in Oklahoma. What can you get out the counterparts for each team? Ole Miss's defense versus Oklahoma's offense, I think, is going to be what you need to keep your eye on. And John Mateer's health, is he going to be able to be 100%? Is Ole Miss still going to be able to score willingly on this Oklahoma defense, or enough to where John Mateer is going to have to show off the hand and actually try very hard in this game, unlike he had to do last week? VJ, how we feeling?
I actually like this game. I mean, it's one of the few rank-on-rank matchups this week. Unfortunately, there's not too many, so can't be spoiled every week on college football. But it's actually a pretty solid game. You kind of just said already, it is a high-powered offense versus a high-powered defense type of game. I also see it as basically, with that instance, who can make less mistakes? Because both of these teams, as far as we've seen, when they made mistakes, they suffered hard in those games when they made mistakes, both of these teams. So now it's kind of like you're going into this one. This is honestly a must need for the SEC in terms of staying alive in that that top of the line SEC like competition. So it's now like who wins this game kind of takes that big step over. Oklahoma needs it. Ole Miss needs it. This is a good game to me. So, I'm excited to watch this one. Can't say nothing more than that. How about you, Rack?
Yeah. Honestly, Ole Miss, them barely losing by to Georgia last week is kind of heartbreaking, to be honest. For at least Ole Miss, they were looking good, and honestly, I'm pretty sure they in the death schedule now, right? No, they're not. Who was in that death schedule? I forgot. Oklahoma. Oh, the Oklahoma's in the death schedule. So honestly, I guess this is honestly Ole Miss only final hurls. I guess you would say, right? I just looked at the schedule and I forgot immediately. Yeah, basically, this is the only hurl that they need to get over, and they're kind of honestly good. They're like what 1, 2, 3, fourth in the SEC, and obviously Oklahoma needs this to with their schedule coming up. So yeah, so hopefully Chamberlain come to play. Obviously, John Mateer looking come off that injury. We don't know how much you're gonna be able to they shot them point might be looking like LSU out there, but possibly a little bit better, even better than LSU, even though he's injured, but. We gotta see what Oklahoma got in store. So, yeah, I don't really got much to say. Hopefully, I really don't know who to root for here, but I'm gonna get into that. But yeah, I don't really got much to say. How about you, Cameron? Any final thoughts?
I think this defensive line is gonna for Oklahoma is gonna kind of like show how difficult it is gonna be for Ole Miss's offense. I want to see if Trinidad. I know he could do it with his arm, but how much he's gonna have to use his legs in this game? Because once he hits that second gear of like using his arms and legs, it's like okay, now it's gonna be a lot more difficult for Oklahoma to get them stops. Mateer again, I just the 3 interception game at Texas, it was very telling how injured he was. Last week you didn't really see it shown off a lot, but this week it's kind of like we saved up to put all of our coins into this game. They have a 5-game stretch of straight ranked opponents for the next 5 weeks to end out the regular season. We knew it was coming up, and that's why they were so limited with him. So I think it's gonna be their first stop. And into the predictions, I think it's gonna be their first L of many. I think Oklahoma loses. I don't care who's at home, who's away. It's all Mateer, and I just don't think Mateer is gonna be able to get it done. This Ole Miss offense is so powerful. 35 points, like straight 7 touchdowns for 3 quarters is crazy. And obviously Oklahoma is not Georgia defensive sake, but I think it's going to be tough for Oklahoma to keep up. They don't have no run game. They're going to have to rely on Mateer to do it all. And Mateer with his legs has been very limited since he's came back from injury. So is he going to be able to use his legs? One, they're going to have a run game? Probably not. Is he going to have to throw a lot? Probably. So it's just not looking good in my personal opinion, for Oklahoma's offense. And his Ole Miss defense isn't terrible, but they struggle to hold teams to like under 20 points. And I'm talking about the trash teams like the Mississippi States, the Auburns, and things like that. Like this defense is not good at all. But I think they're good enough to get this win. Rack, what about you?
Man,
Where you go?
I gotta go with the all ball nowhere, Cameron. I also favor Ole Miss in this, to be honest. Yeah, just John Mateer coming off that injury, especially it was what you said with how proven it was against that Red River rivalry against Arch Manning. So, I guess they've been trying to rest his hand as much as he could, but I don't think I'm not gonna lie, I think it's too late, too sorry. We probably gonna have to see at the end of the season see what happened, but as of now, I don't think that John Mateer is gonna be able to keep up against Ole Miss high offensive power, as you said, and I don't think Oklahoma defense could try as much as they could, but I'm pretty sure Ole Miss is. I just don't think John Mateer can keep up with Ole Miss, to be honest. That's really what it is. So with that being said, did you say score predictions?
Oh, I did.
Go ahead.
Let me get Ole Miss 41, Oklahoma 28.
Okay. Yeah. I got Ole Miss 38. I'll give Oklahoma 21. How about you, VJ?
Nah, I think
The real ball knower.
the real ball knower, yeah, totally. So it's Rack. Anyways, This is definitely. I mean, y'all, we all just said on our thoughts. It's definitely high powered offense, defense going off against each other. Can Mateer pull one off like he is? Can honestly, I'm more like, can Chamberlain stay this consistent? Because this motherfucker's been on it, bro. Like, yes, they did lose to Georgia, but bro, realistically, he didn't even have a terrible game against Georgia. He had a pretty solid game, so it's tough to see what's gonna go through, but instinctively, I trust more Ole Miss than Oklahoma right now. I felt like Oklahoma played way too conservative last game for me to be confident in them this game. So I'm gonna go Ole Miss 31, Oklahoma 14.
Mm.
Right.
Wow.
Moving on to another SEC matchup. Vanderbilt for the second straight week will host a ranked opponent. And this time it's going to be Missouri at number 15 coming into town to face off this Diego Pavia-led Heisman campaign season for Vanderbilt. And yeah, Diego Pavia has been able to get it done week in and week out. Had that slip up against Alabama, but it's Alabama at the end of the day. They're looking real nice. Was able to beat a top 10 team in LSU at the time. And now they took their spot, and now they're ranked 10th. And Missouri, again, another Alabama victim coming around here. They were able to squeeze out this win last week. Missouri was against Auburn. Ahmad Hardy still not was a factor in that game. Alabama shut him out, and now Auburn has basically made him a non-factor in that game. I want to see if he can get ramp it up against his Vanderbilt defense. I think he should. I think if they want a chance to win, he needs to show up. Boba Beulah has had a lot of woes with his interceptions. I think 7 interceptions in the last 5 games. I think that's top 5 in FBS for the most turnovers. I think that's something to keep an eye on because Boba Beulah protected that ball at the start of the season, and now it's become a kind of an issue. Again, Boba Beulah get it done with his legs. I want to see what he can do, but Diego Pavia is the magic man on the other side of the ball. Vanderbilt, that offense gets going because of him. No big stars, no big names. Usually you know Diego Pavia, and you need to put him in a box for your Missouri. I don't know if they're going to be able to. But again, this feels like a trap game. I feel like they had that big win against LSU, and I feel like Vanderbilt could slip up. I'm not saying that's going to be my pick, but this is the type of game it feels. But also Missouri, they struggled against Auburn. You should not be able to struggle against Auburn if you have college football playoff chances. Again, Auburn ain't the worst team, but at the end of the day, they're struggling organization. I don't know, college at this point for football. So that overtime win that they had to do was kind of like, ooh, you need to play a lot better if you want to beat Vanderbilt. VJ, how do you feel about this?
Ooh, I don't know, cause both these teams got a win last week, and it's like now you're coming in this week, good matchup. Vandy doing their thing, Missouri pulling one off close, but now they're here against a hot, steaming hot Vanderbilt team. It's tough to see. I mean, I always say both team needs it, but Missouri, I feel like they need that momentum. They need that spark again that they had at the beginning. This is definitely the game to do it. But also for Vandy, you're on a hot road. This is arguably this is a once in probably a decade team. You need this.
They're the highest ranked Vanderbilt team since 1947.
Whew. Yeah. This is a fuck a century. I'll change it up. Once in a century Vanderbilt team, damn near, because of one player, Diego Pavia. So, this is good. This is a sneaky good matchup. Nothing else to say. I mean, it's good to me, good to my eyes. So, what about you, Rap?
I'm not gonna lie. Missouri for me has been under the radar. Even though they only got one loss, and that coming from Alabama, you would feel like you would hear something about Missouri. It went under my radar. I haven't been paying too much attention about Missouri. Obviously, Vanderbilt is highest ranking, like Cam just said, since 1970. I'm pretty sure he just said. But my big question mark is how long will Diego Pavia be able to continue this Heisman campaign he's doing? He's doing everything by himself. He's currently leading his team with 438 rushing yards. He's not. I don't think once. I'm pretty sure that the last game against Tennessee, right? I don't. If he continued to do what he did against LSU. I don't know if he have enough steam by the end of the season. And that's probably where the downfall of Vanderbilt might begin. Just as soon as they start getting started, it might all crumble just because they just putting too much on his plate. Like obviously. Whoever their running back is in Vanderbilt, they need to start picking up because I don't think Pavia is going to be able to continue this Heisman campaign consecutively every single game, especially as high as they are now. They're gonna want to keep this going, but I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it. If he does, shit, it seems like we got our possibly our favorite Heisman here, but that this is coming from a Vanderbilt that this is the highest ranked since 1970. So that's my big question mark. How far is probably going to be able to take this Heisman campaign, and Missouri, is Missouri going to like shut down Vanderbilt here, and then put it back on track, like, hey, we're the ones, y'all forgot about us, or Rack forgot about us, we ain't hear nothing. Well, now you should have heard us now, because we just took off that number 10 team off the map. Well, not off the map, but that we had to shut it down real quick. Well, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Cameron, final thoughts?
It was actually 1947, so we're not talking about 70s, we're not talking about 60s, we're not talking about 50s, we're talking about the 40s.
Damn.
Holy shit, like, what was that, World War II or some shit, bro?
Generations.
Some bullshit, bro. This is not your grandma's Vanderbilt team, is what I'm hearing. But Missouri, the reason you haven't heard about them is they don't really have a good win. Their best win of the season is South Carolina and potentially like an Auburn game last week. They went up against the Alabama team and only lost by 3 points. Matt Hardy wasn't a factor in that game. If he's a factor in that game, do they win? That's how I look at this team, and that's why I'll pick them to win. Missouri still has 2 other ranked opponents. Coming next week, you have Texas A&M on your schedule. You have Oklahoma on your schedule still, and those are 2 top 15 teams. Texas A&M being like the 3rd ranked team in the country or 4th ranked team in the country right now. But again, Vanderbilt, it's kind of like a Haynes King situation out of Georgia Tech. Is he going to run out of steam? I think Rack touched on it a little bit, but I think Diego Pavia is a better player than Haynes King. Like, I think he's been able to do this. That's why he wants like an 8th year of college or some shit. He's not learning there. He just wants to play football again. And he's been able to do this. And he's been talking shit, and he's been able to back it up. He's in Heisman poses. I like it. I like the confidence. But again, this is a trap game for Vanderbilt. I think they're gonna get a little too cocky. And them turnovers for Diego Pavia in the red zone, in that Alabama game is what cost them the game. Again, they took Alabama to the limit. I feel like if they would take back them turnovers, they lost by 16, but they held Alabama under 30 points. His defense is underrated. But as far as Missouri goes, Eli Drinkwitz is getting probably calls about head coaching jobs at other colleges. And just I don't know how much longer he's gonna be at Missouri. But these are type of games where if you haven't got that Penn State call yet, I'm talking about Eli Drinkwitz out of Missouri. If he gets his win, I think chill. They're going to be texting him. They're going to be doing something, talk to his agent, something they need to after this game if he's able to pull off this win. And I think he's going to be able to pull off this win. I think it's going to be a 30-27 game. I think it'll be a grueler, and it may come down to who throws that turnover or has a turnover, fumble, interception, anything for Diego and Bo Pabula. Again, both of them had turnover problems in both their key matchups, and I just got to go Missouri, and I got to think Ahmad Hardy's going to be able to get back on the field and be as much of an impact as he was. He was leading rusher going into I think week 7, and now he's probably I think 4th. So that's how much he struggled. He went from 1st to 4th in 2 weeks, and he basically got taken out both games. So I would assume they got to get him started early. They got to give him 15 to 20 carries at least, if they really want a chance. Bo Bula with his legs. As far as Diego Pavia with his legs, I think Bo Bula is a better runner. I can hope he can find some open field, open grass, and be able to get this win at Vanderbilt. It's going to be very difficult, but I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. BJ, what do you think?
If I'm being realistic, my mind is telling me that Missouri's the better team, well-rounded wise. They have a pretty solid offense. They got the key pieces defensively. In my opinion, they're way more better than Vanderbilt.
Does that matter?
But here's what I'm about to say. My heart is telling me Vandy all the way. Diego Pavia, man, he's having one of them seasons, and I just like them type of stories, man. So I'm going Vandy this game. I'm gonna go 31-28 Vanderbilt.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Note before you go, Rack.
Yeah.
He took Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, if they lose this week, they still have Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee on their schedule. So I'm just saying, if that's a 2-loss Vanderbilt team that loses to Missouri and Alabama, are they still in the playoffs? But Missouri, on the other hand, they're kind of fighting and scratching. They gotta win 2 out of 3 of these next ranked matchups with Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma. If they get 2 wins out of that, you don't think they're in the playoffs with 2 losses? and it's an Alabama team or like a Texas A&M loss or Vanderbilt loss. I'm just saying. Just how everything can move out and all these at-large teams. What do you think?
Ooh, that's interesting. So every game matters at this point, but the other ball nowhere. I'm going with the other ball nowhere this time around. I'm going with VJ. I believe in like once they hit that high, just like what VJ say, Diego Pavia having that season where it's just like he currently had that spark. But I will say maybe a little like foreshadowing towards the future. I will say I don't think Vanderbilt is gonna live up to the expectation moving like further down to the season. If Diego Pavia doing everything, I think it's like Diego Pavia got it for the next couple games, and then I think it's gonna slow down, and Vanderbilt's gonna all of a sudden they're gonna get upset. But that's a little foreshadowing. But for now, I'm riding the train. All aboard the train. I'm going with Vanderbilt. I like the close game. I'm gonna have it 24-17 Vanderbilt.
And even if Diego Pavia slows down, they could win a slugfest, bro.
They can.
I think that defense, and this is one of them games that could be a slugfest. Like, the Bo Previola turnovers, the Ahmad Hardy non-impact, Diego Pavia slowed down a little bit. Drinking too much after that trap game or the big win. LSU makes this to trap game. But yeah, another SEC matchup where it's just a bloodbath. Like a top 15 matchup, number 10 versus number 15. And both kind of need these wins to have a chance at this college football playoff. I'm not saying if either one of them lose or out of it, but it makes their chances a whole lot more difficult.
Also, I mean, not that it might matter, but ESPN do have Vanderbilt, winning with 55.1 percentage. That's just a little thing. So they do favor Vanderbilt in this situation. So technically,
is that why you went with them?
No, actually,
I'm them out in the Texas Oklahoma game, and now you're going with them.
Nah, I'm going with Vanderbilt because Diego Pavia having that game. I did not believe in Arch Manning, and he had that game, and then she proceeded to damn near almost fucking lose to Kentucky. I don't want to hear it, bro. On to next,
all right, bro. We go to the Big 12. Could have been a ranked matchup if Iowa State knows how to win games the last couple of weeks, but they haven't. We got number 11 BYU coming off that big win against Utah. They're going on the road to Iowa State to face this Rocco Beck team that has struggled in the last couple of weeks. They had a bye week last week, a Colorado loss, and then Cincinnati lost the week before. So they haven't won a game, I don't think, since I think September or something like that. Maybe I'm lying on that. Let me go to the Arizona win. The Arizona game was September 27th. They haven't won a game in October. So we got Iowa State, Rocco Beck. Again, has done pretty well, but I think their run game in Sama the third has really came alive in them losses. He's kind of like the unsung hero, even though they lost. Like, they finally found somebody they can hand that ball off to. But on the other side, BYU, Bear Bachmeier, the true freshman, has been able to light up the stat sheet, been able to pull off that win with Utah and use it with his legs as well. Great runner, but he also in that backfield, he's not the only one that can run the ball. LJ Martin has done really well this season. And yeah, they kind of shocked the world beating Utah. It shocked me at least. But Iowa State, again, trying to get the first win of October in the last week of October. VJ, are they going to be able to do it? What do you see?
Who knows? I mean, if there's one thing now that I can say for certain for this game at least is that BYU is tested. They beat Utah. I won't say comfortably, but they did beat Utah. Now they're coming into this game against Iowa State. They are actually underdogs coming into this game, which is a little interesting to hear about. But matter of fact is BYU's coming in. They want to continue that role, Now they're pretty much almost kind of like proving that the people wrong. They say they weren't tested. They had a good record. Oh, they weren't tested. They beat Utah. Now they're tested. It's like, okay, now can you keep the steam going? For Iowa State, this is a must win. I think in contention for Big 12, this is a must win. You have to win this. I mean, like ranked or not, it is what it is. But this is if you want to stay alive in the Big 12, in my opinion, for Iowa State, you need this game. So, in my opinion, this is a very crucial game, obviously for both teams. But I lean a little bit more for Iowa State. They need this game a little bit more harder than BYU. So we'll see how it turns out. But definitely a little underrated matchup. But we'll see how it goes. What about you, Rag?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I did not think BYU had it in them to beat Utah, so but they did. So honestly, I'm right on this BYU chain too, whenever you get to it. But all in all, Iowa State, they start off the season hot. They plays who was the right opponent at that time? It was number 17 Kansas State. So obviously early in the season, Iowa State was like, ooh, Iowa State. They made a statement. Well, was Iowa State also ranked at the time, week 1? No. Okay, so they came out making a statement like, hey, we're that team to be watching out for. And then all of a sudden, last 2 weeks, they I mean, like Cam said, they have yet to get a win in October. So, where have that team gone? We don't know. Will they be able to pick it up here? Remember, they are currently 2-2 in Big 12 play, and obviously BYU sitting comfortably 4-0 in Big 12 play. So, like VJ said, Iowa State definitely needs it more than BYU. BYU got like two ranked opponents ahead of them. So even if they lose this, I don't know if that will help the case. But yeah, they got 14 Texas Tech and then number 21 Cincinnati. But we'll see if Cincinnati stays on there. But with their season a little up and down. But yeah, so hopefully BYU continues. Honestly, it's kind of exciting to see. This BYU team who, I mean, at least I didn't think was the real deal. Going against playing that Utah team, and them, actually did. It might not have been one-sided like a 7-0 team would do, but hey, they held their own. Their first real test, and they were able to get the job done. So yeah, Cameron, final thoughts.
I'm going to predictions.
All right.
I'm a pretty good ball knower, as everybody glazes me on this podcast because they know what it is. I'm such a good ball knower. I'm gonna pick up the upset. Rocco Beck. They got 2 losses in October back to back. They got upset by Colorado. Colorado's playing young boy in the locker room, so I know that fueled Rocco Beck. That bye week they had to work on stuff, and Matt Campbell's a great head coach. I think he's a better head coach than Kalani out of BYU. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. I know Matt Campbell has to have a great game plan to stop Bear Bachmeier and what he can do, or at least limit it as much as possible. And I trust the head coaching out of Iowa State to kind of save their season and beat BYU while hosting them and do a lot to confuse the freshmen. And I would hope that run game for Iowa State can keep up, and Rocco Beck can go back to his first half of the season self before them 2 losses. And let me get Iowa State beating BYU 31-17.
All right. Okay. Like I said, my little thing. I'm riding the BYU train too. VJ, isn't Bachmeier a little Asian? Didn't you say that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely riding with him. Oh yeah. Yep. I'm supporting. Gotta support our Asian brother whatever we can. So with that being said, I got it in favor of BYU. I got them winning 27-17. VJ.
Okay, that's fair. Listen, I'll keep this one short and simple as much as I can. If there's one thing I keep hearing about Iowa State is Rocco Beck, that every time Cam yells about it, Rocco Beck. So I'm going to take that word. I cheer for Bear Bachmeier to have a great game, but unfortunately you can't pull this one off. I'm hoping
up on the Iowa State,
I'm taking 27-24.
Okay.
It's crazy, bro. Switching up on a brother is crazy, man. Not
that's crazy.
DJ, man.
I know.
A loyal fan, man.
I know. He put me on, bro.
It's crazy, man. I think his mom's from Thailand, by the way.
Oh wow, he's closer to home, bro. Holy shit. That's crazy, bro. I could definitely speak the same language as him, bro. The fuck?
All right, we got a final SEC bloodbath matchup. Number 3, Texas A&M is going to Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. NBA Youngboy is going to be on the sideline after his tour is over. LSU, coming off a loss, ranked 20th, is now hosting number 3 team, one of the most high-powered offenses in the nation, in Texas A&M, and they're going to have to try to stop this top 5 Heisman candidate, Marcel Reed, and his high-powered offense. And Brian Kelly, I'm getting word, is now fighting for his head coaching career. His job at LSU is on the line in this game. He needs to win, or it's over.
Another one, another coach on that. About to be on that stake. That's crazy.
Telling you, bro. I'm telling you, there's high expectations here at these SEC schools, and there's a couple of other SEC schools that have it's on a hot seat that's ready to go. And it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be another Garrett Nussmeier. How healthy can he be, bro? Like it's every week. This dude's, bro. I don't know what the fuck is going on, bro. He's coming in, fucking dragging one foot onto the field every time he grabs the ball on offense. I don't know what it is, bro. But yeah, we know this offense is gonna struggle for LSU. It's gonna be the quite opposite for Texas A&M's offense. This Aggie defense is crazy. Cassius Howell has 8 sacks on the season. This dude's trying to get into the first round of this NFL draft. And shout out Cassius Howell. Bro, I think he has to lead the fucking the FBS and fucking sacks, bro. 8 sacks is crazy. Only halfway through the season. But this LSU defense is now going to be with the second week without Weeks. I think he's questionable but doubtful in this game to return. So hopefully the other week's brother can carry this LSU defense because they're gonna need it. There's a high-powered Texas A&M offense that I keep blazing because they're so good from quarterback to running backs to wide receivers. They're deep in everything. And yeah, shout out A&M. I think it's gonna be their second week going on the road. I don't know when they play. If they're at College Station again, it's gonna be a little second. But yeah, BJ, how we feeling?
It's an interesting game because when we're explaining everything, when you just explain basically entirely, it just sounds like A&M should be like, this should be clear cut A&M in a way, but it's just, I don't know. There's just something. There's always that little small if and but in there. So it's like, realistically, if LSU can pull this off, there's no doubt about it. But right now, it's just everything is leaning towards A&M. But it's college football. Stuff is unpredictable. You're at LSU. That could maybe play a factor. Who knows? But I don't see it too much. But it's like it plays a factor. I'll be honest. So it's a big what if type of game. Big for A&M, I guess, just because they're undefeated. You want to keep the train rolling. LSU, basically in a sense, if you lose, you're done. I just don't see. I don't see how you could. I don't know. I don't care what type of wins you come back. Unless you're facing Ohio State tomorrow, then good luck, buddy. That is not working. Then, shit. I just don't know. I don't see this one going well. So, hey, but it's college football, so we'll see. How about you, Rack?
Yeah, Texas A&M early on. I'm not gonna lie, I did not believe in Texas A&M. Even though they was getting these solid wins, it just felt like it's just another NIL school. They just spent $10 million on every 5-star recruit they got, and then next season they transfer out. So now I'm not gonna lie, they definitely I don't have that doubt anymore, but they're still a little bit questionable. Obviously, last week they played Arkansas. No, they only won by 3 points. So there's still a little bit of question still there, but overall, I still believe. I believe now that this Texas A&M team will get over that hump, even though they just had that little struggle with Arkansas. But heading over to LSU side, LSU, I was high on them, bro. They were looking good there, having one of the most craziest defense, and we just needed the offense to pick up a little bit. The role has been reversed. Like, whoa, what's going on? So it's like. And for it to be reversed, and not somebody doing damn near everything, by himself, it's kind of crazy to even say that, which is not a good thing. Cam said it last week when I was basically saying the same thing. That is not a good thing that their offense and defense basically switched, bro. Their offense is somewhat better, and the defense downgraded, even though it was a high rated defense. And playing this Texas A&M team now, if that defense do not come to play, we might see a blowout in Death Valley, bro. But the only thing I could see is if Death Valley, it is a night game, by the way. So if Death Valley really shows up, maybe they might rattle, Marcel Reed a little. It might rattle that offense a little bit. But then again, they did play Notre Dame, at Notre Dame. So there might be a little attest to it. But it's been a minute, since they got really rattled in the environment that is Death Valley. So if we see anything like a little look like LSU might take this one over A&M, we'll probably give it to halftime. Marcel Reed probably lock back in and be like, hey, nah, I'm still him. I'm about to carry this number 3 team to this playoff, bro. I'm about to set us to the SEC championship and go face, I don't know, either Alabama, Georgia, one of them teams, because Alabama looking strong now, and Georgia is still fighting. So, yeah, that's all I got. Cameron, final thought?
Yeah, I glaze A&M a lot, but Marcel Reed's probably the only unproven. But I wouldn't say unproven, but for the amount of negative plays that every member on this offense has, Marcel Reed obviously has the biggest opportunity to have the most bad plays. He throws a lot of interesting passes, and those passes could get picked off in his games. He has 4 interceptions on the year, but it could easily be double that, 8 interceptions or something along them lines. Just with the bad throws. But I don't know if it's gonna happen. I can see this going down as a Penn State Northwestern type of matchup where Cassius Howell choke slams Nussmeier in the backfield, and Nussmeier's injured for the rest of the year and ready to go to the draft, and then Brian Kelly has to switch his offensive coordinator out because I think that's what the biggest thing is. This offensive coordinator and Brian Kelly's coaching staff is the biggest problem here. So if Brian Kelly doesn't lose his job, these coordinators gotta get rotated. But with that being said, it is Death Valley. It is at night. And this LSU defense can hopefully not skip a beat and actually like put a lot of pressure on Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed can get it done with his legs, can get it done over there, but just limit the amount of mistakes. And like you said, if we're going into halftime and it's a tie game or even Texas A&M losing, I could see Marcel Reed coming out and Mario Craver getting open and KCC vertical down the field. And that's where they just hurt a lot of people, a lot of defenses. And it's really this defense for A&M that I want to see slow down this LSU offense as much as possible because if LSU comes out the gate very high powered, I don't know if this A&M defense can get back on track and try to stop this storm that's coming with this LSU offense. I've never seen an LSU offensive flurries and a great game from start one to start to the end. But for this game, I'll have to go Texas A&M. This is a must-win for LSU. It has to be said that a lot of these teams, when they get pushed backs against the wall, they're able to come out swinging and look very good at that. But Nussmeier, again, I don't know how much he's injured. I don't know. Every week is the same thing. Oh, Nussmeier's injured. He's playing injured. He's playing injured. And it's like, okay, why do we keep rolling him out? It's a senior year. Just let him fucking tank the rest of the season. I don't know what you're fighting for, but if you take a third loss, you shouldn't be playing for the rest of the season. Just get ready for the draft if you're Nussmeier. He's wearing that number 18 jersey. He's supposed to be the vocal point of this team. That number 18 is sacred. But yeah, with that being said, again, A&M wins. I think they're gonna hang like 38 on them. This team that damn near averages 40 points. 38. Let me get a 38, 34. A&M win. BJ.
Ooh. Man, this is a tough one. Just due to the fact that it's so everything about it. Like I just said earlier, it's so lopsided towards A&M, but it's just that small little it factor. Just but what and ifs. I do believe A&M does get it done, but it is that I don't know. Something just screams like this is gonna be the craziest nail biter as an not LSU, as an A&M fan. You're gonna be nail biting this one just out of nowhere. If I had to go my score prediction, it's gonna be tight, bro. It's gonna be like 35, 34, bro. But it's tight. What about you, Rack?
Yeah, I don't know which direction I want to go off of. A Texas A&M blowout or LSU close game, but Texas A&M still winning. Like I said, I'm in the favor of Texas A&M, but it's like I could see where it could possibly be a high scoring game, but Marcel Reed is just throwing the ball and it's like 2 interception by the first half, but they're up fucking 21-3, so it's like he might be throwing 2 interceptions, but hey, he whatever the offense is doing, they're putting points on the board. So it's like I really don't know what type of score I want. But due to the fact that it's in Death Valley, I feel like Marcel Reed's gonna slip up, so he's gonna make the game a little bit closer than it need to be. So with that being said, I got Texas A&M scoring, I'll say 38, and I got LSU scoring. I'm gonna give him 24. I'm giving 24. That's just being nice, and that's just hopefully,
Damn.
and that's just hopefully the defense is carrying. But yeah,
All right. All right.
we all good.
And now we get into the one on of the podcast where I talk about games that I just keep one eye on. There's 20 games here or some shit, so yeah, keep an eye on every single one of these games, all 20 of them at the same time. But with that being said, we got a Friday night game, Friday night lights. We got the California Golden Bears going at Virginia Tech, the Hokies, and I'm looking at this matchup predictor.
Devin Brown.
75% Virginia Tech.
Damn.
What the like? What are we doing here? What is Kyron Jones done since his head coach got fired? I'm confused.
If Devin Brown was playing, the favor would not be like that. Head ass.
They beat Wofford and NC State, and coming off a loss from Wake Forest and Georgia Tech. I don't know what ESPN's seeing. Maybe they're seeing something I'm not seeing. Maybe it's an Arch Manning rack situation all over again. But yeah. Cal should be able to take care of their food, and they have still have potential to make the ACC championship if they really want to. They have only one loss in conference play, and a lot of these teams are going to be facing each other later on in the season. But yeah, again, Sagbatelli's been great. De Jesus has basically had his breakout game last game, so let's see if he can continue to be their leading receiver, because Sagbatelli definitely needs him. Put up 17 yards on the year. Very good as a true freshman, by the way. Lived up to that 5-star hype that he had going into the season. UCLA, the biggest matchup that we didn't talk about. UCLA on a 3-game winning streak. Signetti saying this is a whole new team. This team is 3-0. Even though the matchup predictor is not feeling UCLA at all. Maybe they're just glazing Indiana a whole lot. Second in the country, 7-0. Mendoza's him. 50-50.
It's 50-50. Yeah.
Oh shit! For Rack, it's 50-50. He's the ball nowhere. So shit, have 2 parlays, one on UCLA, one in Indiana. Guaranteed to make your money. That's how.
Bet the house. Bet the house.
On who?
I'm not gonna lie.
Right. He said 50-50. Hey,
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, if you
50-50 chance. It's a dice roll.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If you bet on UCLA, I'm not gonna lie. You might come out with 10 houses, gang. I'm not gonna lie. But hey. Hey, I'm not a advisor or whatever the fuck they be saying, bro. So yeah.
Yeah, a new play call for UCLA has basically opened this playbook. Nico, leading passer and rusher on this team. And yeah, Indiana, we don't need to talk about them a lot. They got Surratt, who's going to be like a second, third round pick in this upcoming draft, and Mendoza's probably going to be the number 1 overall pick at this point. Could be a New York for the Heisman later on in this season. He's been great. But just see how much does UCLA compete with Indiana, if not upset. You heard it here first.
Wait.
UCLA can pull off the impossible.
Actually, there's a little asterisk. Didn't Nico get injured last game? No.
He did get hurt.
Man. I don't know if 50-50 more. I'll get like 60-40. 60-40 in favor of Indiana.
About that. But I say he got taken out, but he wasn't like. Listen, he didn't get carted off. That's the main thing.
I mean, injury is still an injury.
Off was crazy.
So, yeah, I'll give it 60-40. 60-40 now.
Nah, Nico's good, bro. All right, we got the Syracuse Orange. We got and Jelly is still the leading passer here. He got injured in the Clemson game about a month ago. Ricky Collins has not been good, bro. And yeah, they basically got to go and do the impossible at Georgia Tech and beat them with Haynes King. If Haynes King has a slow game, this could be close. But Ricky Collins has been ass. He can't play as bad as he played the last couple of starts. So that's the only good thing. He can't play no worse, right? But hopefully he can play better. I don't know. We got an 86-13 split basically for the Georgia Tech hosting Syracuse. If Fran Brown can do the impossible, man, Clemson fell victim to that, and maybe Georgia Tech can fall victim to that. All right, we got number 16, Virginia at North Carolina. And this is not an upset alert. Gio Lopez has been trashed. 3 touchdowns on the season. We're halfway through the season, gang. Throw some more touchdowns. But it sucks because he doesn't really have no one to throw to. But on the other hand, Chandler fucking Morris, man, and this Virginia team has basically could be a lock to go into the ACC championship. They don't got a lot of tough games. They got Cal after North Carolina, Wake Forest, Duke, Virginia Tech. I think all these teams have winning records outside of North Carolina and outside of Virginia Tech. So this 3-game stretch right here could decide if they go to the ACC championship or not. But this team is going to be proven up to this point. Wake Forest, again, 2 losses. California, 2 losses. And Duke, I think 3 losses now. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they have a pretty tough schedule, but it's one of the things where they got their wins with Florida State and Louisville early, where as long as they just beat the teams they're supposed to beat, they'll be able to lock down this ACC matchup, or ACC championship, and potentially get a college playoff berth. College football playoff berth is kind of crazy for Virginia, in my opinion. But the guys got to take care of business, and big old Bill with Gio Lopez in the backfield, calling the plays and snapping that ball. They're 2-4 on the season, 0-2 in ACC play. So yeah, North Carolina's got to do the impossible, basically. All right, we got USF At Memphis. Memphis lost Brandon Lewis last game. And yeah, he's saying he's active. I don't know why he was in a walking boot at the end of the game. I don't think he's gonna play in this game, but shit, maybe that walking boot would just cover up. I don't know. But yeah, Bruce Brown has been Byron Brown. Yeah, not Bruce Brown, not the football player. Byron Brown has been doing his thing this whole season. 1,700 yards passing and 500 on the ground. Kind of crazy. USF's been solely just taking care of their business week by week. They had to slip up against Miami, but it's Miami. Again, we don't know how good Miami is early, or right now, but early they were pretty good. Florida and Boise State got the wins early. But then you got this Navy team in a couple weeks where Navy's probably gonna be ranked if they keep winning. It should be ranked at this point, in my opinion. But yeah, you got a USF team that could basically win the American right now and get that out large spot potentially later down the
Before we
line. They got to go
continue,
through Navy.
them odds are insane. You cannot get any closer than that.
Yeah.
Those odds are
That's crazy.
crazy.
That's crazy. It's basically 50-50.
Mhm.
And Memphis only lost one game, and they lost to a trash UAB team that was 3-4 in the 2-4 in the season and fired their head coach 2 weeks prior to that game. And that's when Brandon Lewis went down, and they basically UAB was able to take care of that game. So I think this is well deserved in my opinion. USF make sure they don't slip up, and Memphis can get back in the rankings if they get this win. All right, we got a 5-2 Northwestern team. Northwestern has been underrated this season in the Big Ten. Man, they're 5-2. They got the same record as Nebraska. That's why I got them on here. Because if Northwestern can do the impossible and somehow beat Dylan Raiola and just throw fucking 7 at him every time, bro, Dylan Raiola is gonna be fucking throwing this shit up and fucking making all the mistakes and dancing in the pocket. Think he's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he's not Patrick Mahomes, and that's why they're 5-2. Every time they're ranked, it's cursed. They're gonna lose their next game. And they got 75% chance to win. Nebraska does, and I'm not saying that's wrong, but this game has potential, man. And Northwestern's quietly built up a good resume, man. It may be a Penn State win and a UCLA win, but outside of that, man, they have everything ahead of them. They got USC, Michigan, Minnesota, and Illinois. So sneaky team to get like a good bowl game potentially, or college football playoffs. College football playoffs.
But they get in a new stadium. Those off the yeah, they get in. Yeah,
they play in basically a high school stadium, in my opinion.
yeah.
Nah, I think they just have officially swapped it now. I
Yeah.
think their last like time doing that fucking ocean,
Yeah,
whatever,
that
the
lake.
in the background,
Yeah.
that was their last time playing there. Now
Yeah.
they're at a new stadium.
Good. Again, they're playing at a high school stadium. Basically.
Hey, what a way to start by the least getting bowl eligible with this one more win, and then start off a new
New turning point. There we go.
new tradition possibly.
And then we got Rutgers, another Big Ten matchup. Funny enough, Rutgers 3-4, 0-4 in Big Ten play versus Purdue 2-5, 0-4 in Big Ten play. Somebody's got to get a win. Give me Rutgers in this matchup. Callahan Manis is a decent quarterback. I like him. I like Ian Strong, potential NFL prospect, and also like was it Duff? I forget his first name. But yeah, Duff, they got some good pass catches there. They got a pretty decent quarterback, 1,800 yards. I can't tell you anybody or any game I've ever watched Purdue this season, but this might be my first one. I might have to tune in. I might have to see this. But yeah, shout out Callahan Manis. I'll be doing my little research because Rutgers got a game later in, I think, November against that Buckeyes team, So we going to see them later on. But yeah, Rutgers got the lead by about, 10%? Pretty close in my opinion. Bottom feeders of the Big Ten. Let's see who can win. SMU, Kevin Jennings goes to Wake Forest. I just talked about that Wake Forest team on the other team schedule in ACC, Virginia, and now they got 2 losses, and they shocked me a lot. They played really well. They beat a couple of decent teams. It's hard to watch them because the ACC network likes to upload games where they cover the scoreboard, so I can't see it in highlights. Makes no sense. But they got lost to NC State, Georgia Tech, but beat Virginia Tech, Oregon State. Not the best schedule, but they were able to squeak out 4 wins and be bowl eligible potentially. Should be able to beat Delaware and maybe potentially beat one of these games. And Wake Forest is bowl bound. That's kind of shocking to me. Kevin Jennings, SMU, still in position to win the SEC along with Wake Forest with 2 losses in conference play. But SMU undefeated in conference play. They look like they're gonna have to face Miami, and a pissed off Miami at that. A ranked Louisville team down the line. It's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, this is a gonna be interesting ACC game in my opinion. Because they're both in similar positions where they could potentially win SEC depending on how the cookies crumble. All right, we got in-state rivalry. Kansas State at Kansas, basically a home game for both teams. Let's see whose fans are stronger at this field. 3-4 Kansas State versus 4-3 Kansas. I think it's just gonna be a good game. Great quarterback play. Avery Johnson versus Jalen Daniels. I like both of these quarterbacks. They're fun to watch. Jalen Daniels can get it done with his feet. Avery Johnson can just throw the ball when he needs to, and you got Jace Brown to catch for him. Pretty good. I think it's gonna be an offensive massacre, and Kansas is actually ranked or favored in this game. But Kansas State, you can't forget they got wins versus TCU, UCF. They lost to Iowa State early though. Don't look at that one, or the Arizona loss, or all these other losses that they've been taking week in and week out. But they're still a pretty good team in my opinion. They're just trying to get bowl eligible though. Kansas State is. Kansas as well. I don't know what they could do to this point. They're kind of in limbo. Jalen Daniels, I think, is a senior, so he's not gonna be there next year. And again, both these teams just want to be bowl eligible. It's an in-state rivalry. They just want to get their wins for the fans and for themselves. Auburn at Arkansas. We're talking about all these coaching firings and hirings. Arkansas, you got Bobby Petrino, the interim head coach, trying to fight for his head coaching spot for the next couple of years. Taylor Green put on a great show last week against Texas A&M. Basically almost won that game for himself because it's his senior year. His head coach got fired. He got nothing to lose out here. He's a potential NFL prospect and should do a whole lot in the combine. He has the build of an NFL player. But on the other side, Auburn, they're Hugh Freeze. He's basically fighting for his job at this game. If he loses to Arkansas, a team that they're considerably better than, in my opinion, roster-wise, he should be out of there. He shouldn't last till Monday. And that's basically what it is going up to this point. Jackson Arnold hasn't played good this season. His offensive line hasn't helped. Cobb has been great in the backfield. Cam Coleman needs to get more involved, in my opinion. That goes to play calling. I think it's a lot on coaches and a lot on Jackson Arnold's decision-making as well. Hasn't played the best. But Taylor Green, he's going to be a deciding factor in this game. If he's able to use his legs and get his strides going and be able to turn this game all the way upside down. If Arkansas blows them out, I wouldn't be shocked, in my opinion. The way they competed with Texas A&M is insane because Texas A&M's defense is one of the top 10, top 15 in the country. And Auburn, they're pretty lackluster in a lot of categories, but this is the game where they should be able to win because they have better players. And if they don't, then their head coach should be singing the door. Arkansas, on the other hand, Bobby Petrino has a lot to fight for, including his job to being from interim head coach to real head coach. And yeah, Bobby Petrino's back in college football, man. Shout out him. Yeah, but that's a lot on the line for this 2-5, 3-4 matchup where one of these teams got to win an SEC game. Just interesting. Staying in the SEC, number 4 Alabama. They're saying a trap game against the Lenore Seller and Company South Carolina teams. They're saying Lenore's might transfer, might stay another year in college football. He might stay at South Carolina. He might transfer. He might go into the draft. It's all up in the air because this team is so fucking bad. But now they host the number 4 team in the country and now could turn around their season, right? I don't know. Alabama, this could be a trap game. They just won 4 straight off top 20 opponents. They come in this game a little banged up maybe or not on their best footing. And South Carolina can make them pay. I just somehow don't see it. But if South Carolina can somehow make it close, I think that's a win in their books. And yeah, just like the Auburn team where Cam Coleman needs to get more involved, I feel like Nick Harbor needs to get more involved. There's no reason he shouldn't be leading this team in wide receivers, receiving yards. But as far as Alabama, Jam Miller, you want to see him fully healthy for this game. Ty Simpson has been playing a Heisman campaign type game at this moment. 18 touchdowns, 1 interception is fucking insane. On the other side, Lenore Sellers, I think he's counted for like 7 touchdowns on the season, 2 interceptions. Like he may be an NFL quarterback, and maybe some team's gonna draft him off potential. But you just gotta sit back and look at that South Carolina offensive line and be like, damn, this team, this offensive line, this front 5 is fucking trash. But again, back to the Alabama offense, these pass catchers are gonna open this game up so much, and they should. Because this South Carolina defense isn't good in my opinion, and this offense it just struggles to score week in and week out. It's literally like it's disgusting, bro. Once they hit SEC play, it's 20 points. They put 35 on Kentucky, 10 points, 7 points. Like if they get over 20, you'll be happy for South Carolina. But this is also a game that people are saying could be an upset. I just don't see it happening. Alabama's rolling right now.
Roll Tide!
What?
Roll Tide!
You're a Ohio State fan, I thought. 23 ranked Illinois Fighting Illini at 5-2 go on the road to Washington, who lost last week. They're also 5-2. They lost to a Michigan team and looked pretty bad doing it. Denzel Boston, I think he's injured. No, I, 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 I don't know if anybody else seen that.
Nah. Last I checked, I think he was okay, but I didn't hear nothing about like nothing major. At least I'm not sure though.
Okay, okay. Maybe it was somebody else. But yeah, this Washington offense is trying to get back to it. They got held to 7 points by both Ohio State and Michigan on the year, trying to get back to that high-powered offense, and it should be going against this Illinois defense, but you never know. Illinois again, Luke Almeyer trying to bounce back from them losses. And hey, bro, they lost to Indiana and Ohio State, bro. I don't know what more they deserve to be ranked 23 with 2 losses, but it's gonna be interesting to see how Washington can bounce back, if they can bounce back, how legit they can be, or how much they can salvage from the season. Because that Michigan loss, I think, is just like a nail in the coffin on their season of any playoff hopes. But yeah, it's interesting because Washington's the favorite. That's probably the biggest point to this. Because I don't know about that. That's kind of insane, and how big of a favorite they are. Minnesota going at Iowa, both the 2 losses as well, but their losses are a lot more different. Iowa has been looking good. Talk about good losses. They have losses to Iowa State ranked and Indiana ranked. I think those are 2 good losses. Gronowski, again, D2 quarterback, the FCS quarterback, or whatever it was, won national championships, has been coming over, has struggled, only has 800 yards on the season. Jake Lindsey, the quite opposite, 1,400 yards, had a great win at Nebraska last week to push their record to 5-2. Iowa's the heavy favorite. I'm not mad at it, but if Jake Lindsey has a game like he had last week, it should be a lot closer, and Minnesota could potentially win. Definitely going to be an interesting rivalry game at that. 3:30 is a time slot, and yeah, you want to see this Iowa State or Iowa defense go up against this Minnesota offense and hopefully give Jake Lindsey some struggles. Give him some struggles in the game. Yeah, NC State, the Wolfpack going at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they do not have they have 3 ranked matchups at the end of the game, but they have these 2 games leading up to this, NC State and Stanford, and they need to win these games pretty convincingly, or not even convincingly, just get the win and just move on. But if they can win, I think 2 out of 3 of these matchups, or maybe even 1 out of 3 of these matchups, they still have a chance to get this ACC, maybe not the championship, but maybe college football contender. But yeah, these are going to be the 3 games that you're going to keep an eye on: Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami at the end of the season. But these 2 games, they cannot slip up, because once you slip up on that, it's just going to be a dice effect, or what's it called? What's it called? Uh, uh, Come on, you don't know the saying? Bro, it's gonna be a domino effect, bro. Jesus. Shout out hosting the fucking wait, Heinzschul. Shout out Heinzschul, the freshman that came in, able to do his thing. Not the leading passer on his team, surprisingly. He's been playing good the last couple starts. CJ Bailey trying to bounce back from all these L's that NC State has taken as of recently. Pitt is the favorite, and could be the favorite to go into this ACC championship to face a Georgia Tech or a Virginia. But has 1 loss on the season. Again, this freshman quarterback has done so well for Pitt. And this is why I highlighted this game, because if he could play well leading up to these 3 ranked matchup games, it's going to be very interesting to see what Pitt can do against them ranked matchups. Oklahoma State, 1-6, 0-4 in Big 12 play. Have a 1.6% chance to win this Texas Tech game. Texas Tech falls to number 14. They were 7 last week, lost to got upset by Arizona State and Sam Levitt. Will Hammond is still starting. He's gonna be able to try to I guess get footing. He had footing in the fourth quarter, but nothing else in the game. But he's trying to pick up where he left off in that fourth quarter, trying to just close the Oklahoma State Cowboys out in the first quarter. Probably is. I'm not saying that, but Cameron Dickey's the guy to watch. I want to see him get back started. 631 rushing yards on the season, but in his game log, you see he didn't really have the best game last week. Only 40 yards with 9 carries. I don't know why the production was down. And yeah, you really want to see him get going. It's just a building game for Texas Tech. Later down the line, they have a BYU ranked matchup, and that's really it for their season. But they should win out, and BYU giving them the most stress. But that loss should definitely power them into this BYU game, and that ranked matchup later on in the season is going to be very interesting, because Morton should be back, and they should be able to take that BYU game from the freshman if he's undefeated to that point, or even if he's not. Baylor. at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's ranked 21. Baylor 4-3. Michael Triggs came along as their best receiver on the team. Potential NFL prospect Sawyer Robinson is still Sawyer Robinson. Brendan Sorsby is still Brendan Sorsby. Two great QBs in the Big 12 facing off against each other. And Cincinnati just trying to continue their and build their resume against a decent Baylor team. This 4-3 record may look a little interesting, but Baylor's a lot better than that. I think they got losses to it was TCU, Arizona State, Auburn early in the season. But yeah, Baylor just trying to play. I kind of just fuck up the whole Big 12, whoever they play. And 21 Cincinnati is on their resume. And in their next game, they're gonna go to Cincinnati. And again, Cincinnati's at the top of that Big 12, tied with BYU with undefeated conference play. Cincinnati and Brendan Sorsby just trying to keep going, keep trying to get into that Big 12 game to try to go into the playoffs. And Baylor's trying to mess that up. The Texas Longhorns at 22, 5-2, go on the road to at Mississippi State 4-3. And any game where Texas is here with Arch Manning is going to be a game that you want to tune into because you don't know what you're going to get with the offense. It's going to be very interesting. Ryan Wingo's still here. Wisner in the backfield hasn't had the best season. You wish he would have a better season, but Blake Shapen kind of threw away that game last week for Mississippi State. Mississippi State's trying to play spoilers to Texas Longhorns and their season and their potential playoff hopes. Can they do it? Ooh, I don't know. Because I don't know what I'm gonna get with this Texas team. Every week it's something different with this offense. Oh, Arch is actually doing good, but they don't got no run game. But Arch is still not Arch though. I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is. 12 touchdowns to 5 interceptions on the year, and Arch is supposed to be this Heisman fucking candidate quarterback and hasn't even been the top 10 SEC quarterback in his conference, in my opinion. And Blake Shapen is probably a better quarterback than Arch at this point. So hopefully Mississippi State can play better. And over here, Slicks is like just got Arch on his mind every time. Every time I bring it up, it's kind of like just a fucking a Spidey effect, and he just can't control himself every time because he hate Arch with a passion. I don't know what the Mannings did to this man, but they must have I don't know, jumped when he was little, a little Archie. Fucking, I don't know, put belt to ass when he was little, bro, because he really has an obsession with Arch. It's unfortunate at this point. And hopefully he can get Arch out of his mind because his Buckeyes did beat Texas in week 1. I don't know why Arch is still on his mind. It's very concerning. And yeah, don't be Arch and don't be Slicks and don't be in the same room when they both see each other. TCU at West Virginia. West Virginia is struggling. They're trying to figure out who their quarterback is. Fucking in week 9, it's fucking disgusting. TCU, again, 2 losses on the season. Again, I just say it every time. Someone's trying to get to the Big 12 championship, and TCU got 2 losses. They got upset a couple weeks ago by Kansas State. It is what it is. Josh Hoover's last year, 2,000 yards on the season, played really well, just not in that Kansas State game. And McAllister has been their best receiver. He's kind of came out the last couple of weeks and has had big spurts of 100-yard games and looked really good while doing it. Again, West Virginia just trying to play spoiler. They're 2-5, 0-4 in Big 12. They're just trying to get a win. But again, TCU is a team to keep an eye on for a potential Big 12 championship play. And they control their own. They don't control their own destiny, but they got a lot of good matchups at the end of the season. West Virginia not being one of them. Iowa State, BYU, Houston, Cincinnati. I think combined like 3 losses or 4 losses with all these teams. I think Houston won, Cincinnati won, and Iowa State 2. So, and obviously BYU undefeated. So yeah, TCU kind of controls their own destiny and can fuck up the Big 12 if they hit good strides in their football play. Wisconsin versus Oregon. Why'd you highlight this game? Why do we need to keep an eye on this game? Because Wisconsin needs to score points. I can't remember the last time Wisconsin scored points. Holy shit. Get a safety, get a fucking field goal, an extra point without a touchdown. I don't know. 1, 2, 3 points. I just need one of those outcomes, bro. It's a night game at Oregon. I don't expect much from the Wisconsin team, but just a field goal, bro. Just keep healthy. Like, holy shit, I don't know why they made a paper at Wisconsin. I don't know what's going on. Luke Fickell's going to still have his job even if they lose by fucking 72, bruh. On some what? Oklahoma shit? Oklahoma State shit? Who they beat? Yeah, 69-3. Oklahoma fucking State, bruh. In week 2. Holy shit. That's going to be the same outcome just without points. Wisconsin's going to score 0 and Oregon's going to score 69. Shout out Dante Moore in this offense. You know how they get. Anyways, some real competition. We got Stanford coming off that upset win not at Florida State, but hosting Florida State and beating them somehow. Florida State was a top 10 team at the start of the year, fellas. While we're going into week 2, yeah, Florida State's falling off a cliff, but Stanford they're coming to fuck up Miami next. They're on a roll right now. They beat fucking Florida State with their backup quarterback in. I don't know if their backup quarterback's going to be in. He's looking active, so I don't know how telling that is. But 96 chance to win Miami. They need a bounce back win, and they need to make sure it happens pretty convincingly. Malachi Tony can't be this only offense. Mark Fletcher needs to get it going because last game he did not have a good game. Did not help Carson Beck, and Carson Beck needs to stop throwing fucking 7 interceptions in a game. He has 7 on the year, but 4 in that game alone. Looking like that 2024 Carson Beck, but worse somehow. Boston College. Why do you want to highlight this game, Cam? Why do I need to keep an eye on this? Because Louisville could potentially be the real deal. If they can handle this Boston College team, it doesn't mean shit. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't mean shit. But bro, Louisville is a fun team to watch. Miller Moss has found strides. He actually found a great target in Chris Bell, who's now projected to be a first-round pick potentially, and a starter in the NFL potentially. This size and weight is crazy. 6'2", 220. He plays so fast. He's like, I don't know how he runs that fast. No glaze. But Miller Moss was that USC quarterback last season. Lincoln Riley said, "You gotta get the fuck up out of here." He said, "Okay, I'll go do Tyler Shuck's job and do it a little bit better." And now they're 5-1, 19 in the rankings, and potentially go to the ACC championship and cause some damage. And this offense can go. You got Isaac Brown over here. He's coming off his best game. Hang on, let me go to the game log. 113 yards. Shit. Eastern Kentucky, but this Miami team, he put up 113 yards on the best of the season. So shout out Isaac Brown. This offense can be dangerous. And just looked at Boston College to just pull their pants down and grab that belt or get that belt. They might grab the belt for Louisville and hand it to them, and then Louisville's going to fucking swing that leather around. 19% chance to win. I think 7% chance for Boston College to win is kind of crazy. I couldn't tell you anything about this Boston College team. I don't watch Boston College. I may have watched the Clemson game, and Clemson shut them out pretty early. So, yeah, I don't know much about Boston College, but I know they're probably not going to win this Louisville game. Shout out Miller Moss, shout out Chris Bell, shout out Isaac Brown. That's the big three on this Louisville offense and could do a whole lot of damage. And a lot of teams are talking about them. They're now ranked, but again, Virginia Tech, Cal, Clemson, SMU, Kentucky. Not a hard schedule at all. So they should be able to win out and only be a one-loss team going into the conference finals. And hopefully a couple other of these teams drop, and they have a chance to make college football playoffs. The good old big brother versus little brother. Who it is, I don't know. I guess this season is going to be the big brother in Michigan. 25 ranked, 5-2. Go at East Lansing, Michigan State, 3-4, 0-4. In Big Ten play. And Aiden Childs had a good game last week. It didn't matter. They still lost. And yeah, Aiden Childs, I think if you have to go through another season with Michigan State, having Aiden Childs at the quarterback, a lot of fans are going to be on suicide watch, unfortunately. Hopefully not. Hopefully no one takes their own life because of Aiden Childs' gameplay. It sucks, but it's just reality in East Lansing. It just sucks. Bryce Underwood has looked great, had his best passing game, in my opinion, last week. Was able to get the win against, of course, Washington. Washington made him look really bad on offense. And yeah, Justice Haynes wasn't needed. I think he should be back this week. And Marshall was able to get done on the ground for Michigan so that just shows how good their offensive line is and how good their running backs are. McCulley trying to be their leading receiver and trying to be their number one option because that's what Michigan needs. They need somebody to catch this ball and catch it a lot. And McCulley's trying to be that. Again, with this offense, it's Aiden Childs. How much can he do with his wheels? But also, he had a great passing game last week. So let's see if he can continue that and make limited mistakes against his Michigan defense that is very high powered at times. Tennessee at Kentucky. Kentucky, they're trying to put Cutter Boley in and keep him in. It's 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Not really going good. They have a senior in Calzada that's, I guess, ready to come back. They're just having Cutter Boley try to transition into this offensive starter at quarterback for Kentucky, and it hasn't really looked good. They're 0-4 in SEC play. Tennessee, on the other hand, coming off a couple losses. You got a loss early in the season to Georgia and Alabama, the big dogs in the SEC. But you got these 3 wins, and you don't got a tough schedule at the end of the season. But this Kentucky team could definitely do some damage on you if you're not in your A game. This offense needs to bring it back. Bishop had a very good game last week. Joey Aguilar, I don't know about his game. It wasn't that good, but Brazel and Mike Matthews need to get involved down the field, bro. You need to take the shots down the field, and I don't care who's on this Kentucky defensive secondary. I definitely know a couple of names on there, but you should be able to take them shots downfield, and hopefully you can get them. It's going to be a night game at Kentucky. I think it could be on upset alert because if Tennessee is not legit and how I think they are and being one of the best offenses and they struggle again, Kentucky can take care of this, and this could be Curry Bully's coming out party. Houston quietly, a quiet 6-1. And versus Arizona State coming off the biggest win of the season. Houston, however, only lost to Texas Tech. They have one good loss, if you think a good loss is a thing, on their schedule, and they don't have a tough schedule at the end of the year. You got TCU and Baylor, who's not ranked, a couple losses between them, and then Arizona State has 2 losses, but Sam Levitt is a better quarterback than Connor Wigman. Just is what it is. But you just hope Houston can get their offense going early against Arizona State defense that isn't that good, but Jordan Tyson, I think he's the one that I don't know if he's going to be able to play. I think he was ruled out, actually. I think he was the other first-round pick at wide receiver that I was getting confused with Denzel Boston. But Sam Levitt, not 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions was the reason they won last game. He was able to upset, who was it, Texas Tech? Or was it, yeah, Texas Tech. They were able to upset Texas Tech and Will Hammond in the fourth quarter. Thought they were going to choke that game away, but that's just how good Sam Levitt is. He can turn his team around. And now you look at an Arizona State team that kind of controls their own destiny. If they can win out and end this season, like, what is it, 10-2? You got Houston, Iowa State, Colorado, Arizona. Not easy games, but you're gonna make a lot of voters and people at the college football playoffs consider you as one of them at-large teams if you can only end the season with 2 losses. Arizona State is a sneaky team. If they get into playoffs, they could do some damage. I don't know how far that defense could get them. No, but Houston again quietly 6-1, only lost to Texas Tech. If they can just continue to handle business week in and week out, they can put a lot of people on the map and take that ranking away from Arizona State if they can get the upset. All right, last game, we got a fun game. Colorado, the Buffs, coming off a bye week and then coming off their upset win, and finally getting that win against a battered up Iowa State team. And yeah, they basically got to go to Utah and do the impossible and try to beat them. Devin Dampier is by far a better quarterback than Kane Solder, but Kane Solder has his spurts. I like Michael Welch. He's a pretty good running back, but that pass catcher, I don't know how many good pass catches they got, and that's what I think Solter struggles a lot in. He's a senior. Dampier, I think, is also he's a junior, actually. Have one more year with Dampier. He played well last season or last game, but ended up losing to BYU. And Utah should be able to just take all their anger out of Colorado. Don't let him in this game. Don't let him play it close because they could win later in the game if Kane Solter is good enough at the end. Dampier, again, leading in passing and rushing for Utah. Just shows how good he is as a player. Again, his throwing capabilities, in my opinion, is very questionable, but last game he did pretty well. It's going to be a 10-15 start game, so you better stay up late. Grab your coffee, grab your energy drinks to finish this one, because I know everybody's tuning into Colorado Buffs games and Utah Utes games. But again, Utah 5-2. As far as the Big 12 championship, they have a chance, but they don't really control their own destiny. It's going to be a lot of ins and outs of hey, you got to beat Cincinnati if they're undefeated, and just doing what you can on your side if you're Utah, if you want a chance at the college football playoffs and or Big 12 championships, because that's all that matters at the end of the day. And that would be the end of my week 9 one eye on segment part of the game. Or the
WWWW. Hey, there's a comment on something. Maybe I am taking out on Arch a little bit. But it's not really Arch, bro, that I'm pissed at. It's really the people who put that expectation on him, and he's just not living up to it. It's not really his fault. Maybe it is kind of his fault, bro. You have all these, like, you're supposed to capture that light, bro. You're supposed to, like, prove to the world, especially people like me. Like, I am.
Blake Stark?
Nah, I don't think so.
He play calls and head coach.
I don't think it's his fault, bro. Nah. Okay. I mean, look at the way Archer throwing the ball. I mean, shit. He could throw farther than me, so that's all I'm gonna say. So, maybe that'll have nothing to do with it. But, it's like, if you look at Quentin Ewers last year, it was fine, bro. It was fine, But then you all of a sudden you have this, this stardom, this like, diamond in the rough supposedly, and he's supposed to be this fucking, supposed to take y'all to the promised land, and all of a sudden it just kind of just didn't go that way. So maybe I am just raining down on Arch for that, but it's like, it's not really his fault, but it's just like, man, it's just the people that just gave him this light that I guess he just wasn't ready for the light, bro. He just wasn't ready for that shine. So I guess that's where it's really stemming from, bro. It's coming from the people that did that shit to him, bro. But then again, he could have just captured that and just, really shine, bro. But it just so happened not to happen this season. Maybe it happened next season. He was like, okay, well, that was my first season starting. That was a learned lesson. And then here we are next season. All of a sudden, he talking about Heisman now. He missed it last year because, all the fucking people that wanted him to, expected him to win. But now you know. But that's next season. We'll see what happened after this season if they, whatever, if they even make it to playoffs. I wonder if they even make it to the conference championship. We'll see. So.
Hell no, they can't get to the SEC championship with 2 losses, bro. It's over with that, bro. They're like all the way in like 10th place or some shit off that.
Damn.
Like there's like I think 6 or 7, 8 teams that got 1 loss or more or less.
Damn.
Like it's 2 losses.
Damn. Damn, the
It's
SEC.
like impossible.
Literally every SEC game now is so crucial, bro. It's literally
Damn.
that's why you gotta watch November for the SEC is gonna go insane, bro. That's where it's gonna start rolling out. Like right now, I like who's the leaders technically is what Bama and A&M still, right? I'm pretty sure because they're the only ones undefeated
Yeah.
in play. So
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's A&M and then Alabama and then Georgia.
so
Damn.
hey, November's gonna get crazy, man.
All right, so what? Okay, go ahead. You finish your thought.
Hey, it's gonna go. I mean, Texas still has some hope, especially because they do face A&M at the end. If A&M could continue on a roll, they might have a chance to pull something off. But right now, they got right now they have to focus on
A&M went out. Yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of need A&M to take care of business every single week to beat these 1-loss teams, because they can't afford for Texas A&M to get 1 loss, and then because the 1 loss will be better than Texas, so they kind of just have to hope like either Alabama or Texas just continues to win out, and one of them teams just have 1 loss or 2 losses just added on. So they just gotta hope like one of these no-loss teams take 2 losses.
Damn. Okay. Now, what I was gonna ask: what bowl game are we expecting Texas to possibly participate in?
I don't know.
Are we looking at like the fucking Cheez-It Bowl or some shit, bro?
Oh, the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Pop-Tart.
Come on.
The Pop-Tart Bowl, bro. Like, is that the bowl game where we're projected for Texas right now, bro? Yeah, right. Because all the like major bowl games in the college football.
Gonna make college football playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, season ain't over yet, so we got to see how it turns out. But
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Like right now, like say realistically, Texas is still in there, so we got to see how it plans out.
I
You
mean,
know, we're at the end of October basically, so
Oh,
literally the second it turns November 1st,
bro.
that Saturday, November 1st onwards, there we go.
Look at
Grab
this
your
Texas schedule. They have Mississippi State this week, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Arkansas, Texas A&M. They have 3 top 10 teams on their schedule. So, yo, bro, they control their own destiny. But, bro, there's no way they're gonna beat a Georgia or Texas A&M.
The way they're looking right now, yeah. I mean, then again, fucking
Arch will have to take crazy strides
Arch.
Georgia or Georgia, or are they home
at
for
Georgia,
Texas?
and then
Damn.
host to Vanderbilt and A&M.
Oof.
I mean, if Vanderbilt wins against LSU this week, I don't know. He might.
Nah, this A&M schedule was crazy, bro. So they was at College Station for 3 weeks straight. Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida. I'm like, well, they didn't need to be a College Station to win them games. They were at Arkansas, at LSU, at Missouri, and then to finish off their season at Texas, bro. Like, that is crazy away games, bro. And they were at Notre Dame, bro. Like, that was crazy. If Texas A&M wins out, bro, yo, they gonna be crazy.
But if they win out, you can't really doubt they might be top 4. Easily, like
They
they
have
might
to be
be
top
3.
4.
But they
They
might
have
be
to be
3.
top 4. They should be 2.
Really, I mean, yeah.
Whoever wins the Big 12
wins the Big Ten,
championship, yeah.
whoever wins the Big Ten is gonna be 1, and then they should be 2 for sure. I mean, that A&M comeback would be insane. That's a crazy story. I would like to hear potentially.
Alrighty, I think that is that enough.
Yeah.
Chit chatter, japping. That's the word.
Yep.
We good? Alrighty. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. This been damn. What happened to the 1 foot in logo? What the fuck just happened, bro? Now damn, the 1 foot logo is
branding.
missing, bro. That's you, bro. That was your job, man. What you do, bro?
You didn't notice it though. It's your fault.
You're right. It is my fault. But anyways, yeah, we are the 1 foot in, podcast that we take 1 foot in the college football realm. But our brand is missing over there somewhere, right above Cameron. It's missing, but it's alright. We'll be good. It's a little mess up, but yeah. So this was a preview into week 9. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Whatever y'all watch, if y'all stayed long enough. But yeah, we're probably gonna wrap it up here. Remember, we are currently live. By the way, we're currently live. It's currently 10 o'clock p.m. EST on the Thursday. So next time if you guys are ever interested to come and tune in, come chit chat with us. Right under VJ, low-key in the bottom left corner. That usually if y'all come into the chat, there'll be y'all shout pop up there. So if y'all ever want to come chat it up with us, you see yourself in the episode. So, but other than that, honestly, we will probably catch you guys next week, either in the Buckeye fan film room, the 1 foot in, post game after the game went through, and then the day afterward is the Plow Armor podcast, which is all things anime if you're interested in that department. But yeah, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All the videos go up on the Block Sitdown channel. So if you guys miss us being live, it's always being posted there at 9:15 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the preview to the next week, which is this episode you're watching, is always posted on Friday. So right before the game come out Saturday. But yeah, that's enough yapping session. Damn, Cameron fucked the shit up, bro. Enough yapping session. Bro, you close the shit now. Everybody screamed all over the place, bro. Fuck the shit up, bro. Damn, man. See, thank you. See, you back on us. Fucking shit up, bro.
Production, bro. Who's producing this shit, bro?
Fuck.
Producer.
Shit. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Like I said, we appreciate all the support. If you guys made it to the end of the video, consider clicking that subscribe button as to help out the channel a lot. Also, since you're already down there, consider clicking that like button as well. It really does help us tremendously. But other than that, we appreciate all the support. We catch you guys whenever we catch y'all next. Peace.